America's national identity is founded in an incredible heterogeneity. We are a nation renowned for her diversity and for her freedom. Yet deep-seated bigotry looms in our nation's history and in her future if we are not careful. To move forward together means to celebrate America's vast array of heritages and people groups. Civil discourse in a modern America means amplifying the voices of those historically left out of the conversation. It means a willingness to consider other perspectives and to set aside a precedent of vicious personal attacks set as standard in recent political debate. It means civility and respect even for those we disagree with most bitterly. It means knowing when to be steadfast and uncompromising in our beliefs and when to be open to input. Inclusive bipartisan debate and dialogue are the first steps towards encouraging civic initiative, thus leading to the pursuit of change and to growth in our nation. It is easy to feel embittered by the broken promises of self-indulgent politicians, public servants who fall short time and time again. Yet giving up on civic engagement out of frustration is a perfect way to perpetuate the very issues that frustrate us. Completely forfeiting our voice because we do not feel heard is a mistake made all too often by America's youth. Amidst this frustration, the rising generation faces the greater challenge of healing a broken America. Likewise, Abraham Lincoln famously quoted scripture during perhaps the climax of disjuncture in our nation's history. He declared in the wake of civil war, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Unity is in America's name. It is in her blood. We summon our strength not despite our differences, but because of them. Unity suggests celebrating discord because it reflects the great scope of what it means to be American, what it means to be a part of the United States. It is no secret that younger generations are switching from mainstream news outlets to social media for information on current events. One significant upside here is that social media is helping to make politics accessible to young people. Statistically, young people and poor people are much less likely to vote than older adults and those who are more affluent. Frustration with a political system that seems determined to overlook them has led large sectors of the population to surrender their civic duties. For those who are oftentimes minimally civically active, social media offers a platform for civic action and discourse. However, social media can be dangerous as algorithms allow us to curate our own news, encouraging confirmation bias and helping us to slip further into polarizations. Divergent opinions will not be readily presented to us. We must pursue them no matter how uncomfortable this may be, if only for the sake of avoiding dangerously narrow thinking and combative attitudes toward those of opposite political affiliations. Challenging one another to respectful debate encourages people to highlight their core beliefs, to refine their stances, and to review the facts. True dialogue can push people toward being more civically engaged by helping them to identify salient issues in their communities. In fact, a study by Political Research Quarterly identified a clear correlation between cross-aisle discussion and increased civic engagement. Our world is profoundly influenced by the pursuit of power and the drive to maintain it. Our objections and complacencies, what bothers us, what we overlook, which realities we accept, and which we are driven to change, are all impacted by the social and political context we exist within. Therefore, civic engagement should be approached with an analytical lens. Today's America is often robbed of the right to a robust understanding of present issues. No longer are facts presented plainly and left up for analysis. They are evaluated preemptively and serve to persuade instead of to inform. Very rarely does an individual have legitimate exposure to both sides of an argument. Those with opposite political views are presented as the enemy. Young people are in the process of deciding who they are and what they will stand for. Access to diverse political dialogue will help shape their political identities. Yet this is challenging in a world obsessed with villainizing those who do not agree with us. Thankfully, this is a barrier frequent civil discourse can and will dissolve. Civic engagement means having the compassion to serve our communities, the discernment to see disparity for what it is, and the courage to do something about it. Civic engagement in our current social political climate is community building. It is taking a stand, and it is the monotonous tasks that keep a society thriving. This means volunteering, speaking out, joining a protest, signing a petition, paying taxes, casting ballots, and above all, staying informed so that every civic decision we make is well-researched, fair, and compassionate. In a hopeful statistic, a TIS College report reflected 52 to 55% of youth voted in the 2020 election, as compared to only 42 to 46% in 2016. The future is bright, but to ensure it, we must continue fostering a culture of inclusivity and understanding. Reaching across the aisle to initiate conversation is not easy. It is awkward and taboo, and escalated scenarios. It is belligerent, the end of friendships, and the severing of family ties. Yet these are risks we must take if we are to progress as a nation. There is no America without a diversity of opinion. Still, there is no America if we continue to tolerate an oppressive status quo because we are afraid of inciting controversy. We cannot be so frightened of offending one another that we compromise truth and morals. Yet we cannot be so set in our ways that we spew our beliefs without sensitivity, without stopping to consider other perspectives. To proceed as one nation, we must strike a careful balance. In the words of Helen Keller, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Our togetherness is dependent on our universal humanity, our bipartisan cooperation, and our commitment to liberating those who have been exploited. This can only be accomplished by embracing civic initiative.